In this video I'm going to create a Xamarin Android app that connects to a cloud-hosted MySQL database to read and insert data. The app itself will be a simple note-to-self type of application, and I'll be using Google Cloud Platform to host the MySQL database. This is a prerequisite for the video, so if you haven't already got a Google Cloud Platform account and associated MySQL database, then you'll need to set these up first in order to proceed. So I'm going to do the work in Visual Studio 2019. I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to create an Android app, Xamarin. I'm going to create a blank app. Okay, so once the application has been created, I want to go into References and Manage NuGet Packages. I want to go into Updates. I just want to update anything that needs it in here. Once that's done, I want to browse for MySQL, Xamarin.mysql.data. I want to install that. Okay, once that's done, right-click on References, Add Reference. Then we want to go down to System.data. Okay, I want to go back to Solution Explorer. Right-click the project and add new item. I want to add a new class. We'll call it Constants. So we can remove all the using apart from system. So the connection string will follow this format. So it'll be server equals and then server name. In fact, without the square brackets. Then port equals port number. Then user. So that's the user ID. Password. Password. And then the name of the database. So you can get this connection string from your Google Cloud Platform MySQL configuration settings. So once you've got your connection string, just copy and paste it into here. So after the MySQL connection string, we want to add a MySQL select all query. So this is going to select all from the table, and we're going to order by this timestamp column. Then we want to add an insert command. So here we're going to be inserting into the table, into the columns note and timestamp, the values held in note and timestamp. So note will be the text that we enter into the edit box, and then timestamp will just be automatically generated based on when the user clicks submit, or the submit button. Save that and do a build just to make sure that there are no errors. Okay, so once the build has succeeded, what I want to do now is go into resources and layout and activity_main.xml. Open that up. This is the page that loads by default when the application starts. So this is where all the controls will be for viewing the data and for inserting data. Let's go into the code view. So I'm going to start off with a linear layout. So after putting in the layout, let's quickly go through it. A text view, that's simply a label. It says note to self or type note to self. The edit text, that will prompt the user to enter some text into the text field. Button, that is for submitting the data, and then there's another label. And finally, the list view, that's where all the data that's stored in the table will be displayed as notes. So I'm going to quickly build that. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to deploy it to my Android device just to take a look at how the layout appears on a phone. Just make sure I've got everything correct. So I've plugged my phone in, you can see that it's now available. So I can deploy the app to my phone. So now that the app is deployed to my phone, I can see that I've got the label in place, I've got the edit text field here, I've got a submit button, and I've got a list view that, well, there's a label, and then a list view that currently doesn't have any items in it. So that shows me that the layout is what I want so far. So with the layout now in place, I can start to work in the MainActivity CS file. So within here, I'm going to write the C# code that will go to the database table, retrieve all the notes in the table, and write them to the list view, and then put in a button click event that will take the text in the edit text field and push that into the database. Just going to make some references here. System collections. And then MySQL. MySQL client. Then using system. At the top of the class, I'm going to create an array list. A list view. And an edit text field. Now in the onCreate method, below the setContent view, I'm going to find the list view that we created earlier that has a name of LST notes. I'll do the same for the edit text field. I want to create a button, button submit. Then we want to create a click event. So it's created the event down there. Save that. I want to create a method. And this is where we're going to get the data and write it to the list view. So what this does, it creates a MySQL connection using the connection string that we created in the constants class earlier. Similarly, we're creating a MySQL command using the select all query that we used earlier, or that we created earlier. So this creates a data reader, and if the table has rows, then while the rows are being read, add whatever's in the second column, because the first column will be 0. Whatever's in the first in the second column, add that to the notes array. So in this case, it will be whatever note we've added. And finally, so what this line does is it sets the adapter for the list view to be a new array adapter of this type of layout, so simple expandable list item. And the important thing here is we're using the notes array. So in other words, this list view will contain this array. Finally, we want to call this method from onCreate, which means that the method will be called when the app runs, and we'll see in the list all of the notes. So we won't need to have any additional interaction with the app to see all the notes in the list. Okay, I want to just build that, just make sure there are no errors. Okay, so once that's built, I want to do another deploy. So we can see there that when the app has deployed to the phone, the load notes method is running, and it's going to the database, going to the table, and pulling down any notes that are found within the second column of that table. So there are 3 items here. So in the button submit click method, it's going to delete that line. I want to put in the code that writes data to the table based on the edit text field. I'm going to create a date time here, and that will be the date stamp or timestamp. So we can just edit this, just remove, so we don't need to do a query on this one. So we're making the connection, we're opening the database, and we're adding note and timestamp based on the values of the edit text property and the date time now. And down here we're clearing the notes array because we don't want to add to the array, we want to clear it. Then just setting the edit text field to empty, and then reloading the note so we can see the note that we've just added. So save and build. Then I'm going to do a deploy. So what I can do now, I can put a note in the text field. Submit. So you see that's put it into the table. It's then gone back into load notes. It's pulled down the new note. Do another one. Submit. So that's working as I'd expect it to. So thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, if you have any problems with what I've shown you, put it in the comments down below and I'll get back to you.